this evening's live. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Very blessed, very honored, very privileged, whether you're watching it during the live. And I know it's going to take a sec for some of you to get in here for this to go and circulate. But just as we're kind of waiting here for just a second, if you're watching this after, I really do greatly appreciate each and every one of you watching. Despite maybe some things that some might be not so happy about, just for the fact that some were, very hopeful that we would have an ETF approval coming. And as we've seen, that kind of got squashed a little bit here. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world by a long shot. I can promise you that. It's just, we'll go over what some of this means and maybe for implications or maybe different. Drum talk today. He said something that was pretty staggering. I actually have the part saved that we'll listen to if they don't sign this new deal. How taxes go up. And I'm not going to say the amount. I'll let you hear it from Trump's mouth because I don't want to be the bad person here. Believe me. But it's when I heard him say it, I go, wow. I knew it would be bad. But this is almost like a kick to the dick. Excuse my French. Kick to the nuts. Well, still, I guess. Kick to the grotesques. So that's, I don't know. It's, when I heard him say the number, I was like, wow. I was like, that's, some pretty interesting stuff here. So, I think right now precious metals, excuse me, presents a very unique opportunity here. And a risk on, risk off environment. The big difference between a precious metal and crypto is the fact that risk on and risk off can be held by gold and silver, but risk on, or a risk on asset or risky asset, risk off, it's risk off is not crypto. Gold and silver can produce in both environments. So it's an interesting dynamic we're here with. So, but I see lots of opportunity, like the whole there's so much opportunity. There's just so much opportunity. And if we start to slow down just a little bit and we're like, okay, I understand that the ETF, that some are saying 240-day delay, some are saying till December, some are saying October, so I've seen July. We'll go over some of it. But I understand, a lot of things that have been transpiring that might make us go into that negative spiral when we think about XP. Oh, well, here we go again. After the lawsuit, we have the delay with the SEC settlement. Now this happens days after. Like they're stringing us along and bending us over kind of thing, right? It's not so much just that. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this. And I argue that we still need to do what we're doing here. I don't see anything wrong with hiding out here for a while. We know the implications of being in this area, and it's extensive. It's extensive, and I'll get through some of the comments. I'm sorry, I came out firing because I wanted to get some thoughts off my top of my head. And it's just what we're trying to do here, and I'll continue to show this from a longer scale, farther out, and then work our way in, because we're still trying to do something pretty impressive here in every single one of these waves. It's taken an extended time in every single one of these 5 waves. It always takes time, no matter how you look at it. And it's always doing it. So, and it's easier to see it in the weekly because you can see a little bit more of the defined movements, but we're always doing the same kind of structural movement. And as long as we stay in the same paradigm, yes, history doesn't often... I don't think history repeats itself, but I think it rhymes. So in a way it repeats itself, but not 100%. So I think wave 1 up, wave 2 corrective, wave 3 up, huge wave 4, right? Correction, came up a little false, and then wave 5 up. And then we can start to play the same game again. And when you start to play it from past history... Actually, you know what? I could use the, I think I might be able to use the Elliot wave thing on here and kind of illuminate my point here. So, good evening. 6:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. And I reside in the great state of Michigan. I might be able to do this. Whoops. Well, I didn't need it to do it there, but we might be able to do this. So welcome in, everybody. I don't know how many people are here. 91 people. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button because it will certainly help us do what we're trying to do here. Get this information out and also, you know, allow people to get the info they need. But also be a part of this community. We're positivity over negativity in a world where we're shared with so much hate and misery. We keep the negativity out. We're very helpful. I don't care about your background, your color. I don't care about your mental capacity or anything like that. As long as you're on the same playing field as all of us, you need to be positive over negative. Positivity over negativity will allow us to shine through. It's almost like in some of the songs of the gospel, you know, and they ask you, will you fight the darkness with the light? Will you join in fighting the darkness with your light? You know, so that's what we try to do here. We extinguish the darkness with light. Positivity over negativity, a message that needs to be heard, especially with all the negativity in the world. And we're helpful, not hurtful. Like, that's the thing. Like, you don't know somebody's conditioning. You don't know somebody's mindset. You don't know what somebody else is going through. This might be their only joy they have of the day. So anyhow, let's get into this. So for anybody who doesn't understand the Elliot wave, we can kind of do this in a way, right? So, well, maybe not right to you, but you'll see at the end of this. So this would be a better way for me to illuminate it. I never use this, but I thought about, why don't we do it together? So, why is that? Oh, I put it way over there on accident. Okay, so from 1 to 2 to 3, impulse up for 4, right? And then this comes all the way around, and like you are literally dragging through here. And it sucks, but it went like this, and then you dragged, right? That entire wave dragged. I wish it would let me break it, though. Because it's going to make us do it like this, which is fine. But then you bounce off of wave 4 into 5 right there. So, and then 5 ends. And it can be... It won't be less than wave 1. Or it's not greater than... Well, greater than wave 1, but not less than wave 3. So but look. So, this finishes up here, right? So now we look at it again. So just if you assume that that's the 5 wave, because one could argue it goes all the way to the top, but I disagree. I think you have a wave 1, well, maybe, because I guess you could just say it finished here, and then the wave 1 would just be the impulse up. If we're looking at it that way. Up 1, down. Yeah, I can see it. Up 1, down 2, up 3. I got it. Yep. So, I see it. It's perfect because we go up. Watch this. So, remember how we did the 5 wave just now? Watch this. So, now we start here on a fresh wave 1. 1, down to 2, right? And finishes about here. Up to 3. This is a big one in particular, by the way, folks. Massive correction here all the way through wave 4. And it goes pretty far. Like, this is extended. Goes through about here, right? This is where we fail, though, in our next Elliot. Because we come up for wave 5, get rejected, though. Wave 5, if you want this to be successful, needs to be greater than wave 1. Otherwise, you know you're going right back into ABC correction. Or a 5-wave Elliott wave correction once again. So then there's your 5th wave, but it failed. See how it didn't come higher than the 5th or the 3rd wave? Or I mean the 1st wave? How did this end up like this? Oh yeah, okay. So we've had some interact because it can't be bigger than the 3rd. So that's how we knew in this one that we were kind of fucked. But then again, it could have come way farther. So then you look at it, right? You come from the top. And what did we do now? Like, what have we done now? Because I can do this 2 separate ways. Because I know I've broken it down slightly different. But it's all about the way you're looking at this for the long term. And then like it comes through. So like this was, I feel like this should have been like 4. I feel like I did this backwards. 1 down for 2, 3 down for, yeah, that's exactly what I did on this one. But this should have been up for 1, like, fuck it. I think you all know what I'm talking about. But the bottom line is we've done this again now. So if you started over again, like this is where it all corrected, right? Because we should have already been like going through, but you came up. Where's this price? 75 came back through, and then you can start it over again. Like you can say up 1, down 2, up 3, corrective 4, and then I'll back up to 5, and now you start over. Like we've got the 1, 2, 3, right, in every single one of these. So, because right now wave 5 or wave 1, the fresh take would be right here. So this would have been a whole corrective. Oh, that's what it was. What am I talking about? How stupid am I? I should have just left it up there. I could have finished my point, and I got to redo it. That's the point. This is a very long, extended. Sometimes, man, when you start doing something, you're like, how stupid. Anyhow, so we kicked it off here. We kicked it off over here. It's just, it's done it weird. If we're looking at it, it's done it pretty weird. If you look at it from the weekly, but you can do it in different ways. You can break it down into different time frames, and you know, you can do it like that. So if you come up and you're like, oh, well, that's one big, like if you, because I've heard everybody say different things. One big impulse for 1, right? 2, 3, 4. You know, so now if that's how it is, you're not going to want to come below wave 4. If that's what it is. Now we could say, oh, well, we haven't come down to the full potential, and that's fine. That's fine. You know, that's fine, because then we could still make a newer low, and we could just, you know, reaffirm maybe where this would come down from, right? So we'll see. And then if we go back into the earlier days, we can, oh, I already deleted it. But anyhow, I think you guys get what I'm trying to say. I think we get it. Because it starts to repeat itself. Like, it really does start to repeat itself. So, I think it's fascinating. So, if we just kind of look at it, in a sense. And then, like, the corrective wave could be ABC. It just depends how you look at it. So, whoops. So, we'll just say 1 to 2, right? We maximized over here. To 3. To 4. Where was our lowest point? And then you correct. Like, we literally had a 5-wave correction, it looks like. Down 1, up 2. Because then you went into corrective here after because we had a failed Elliot wave here. So then we went into, I think, an ABC correction before we broke out. So if we look at this from the ABC corrective phase, because I think after the failed attempt, we did something, see if I can do this the best way I possibly can. I think we kind of went, so from wave 5 went A, B, C correction like this, and then we went into a 5 wave. Because I don't believe we ever pushed out of here. So I think we had an ABC corrective wave, and then we started a fresh 5-wave Elliott wave. I think that's what happened. Does anybody bitch. I need the ABC. I think that's what happened. Oh no, you didn't miss much. I'm just or it could have been a WYZ correction. I mean, the way you look at it, just, you know, it's up to you. There was a triple wave, though, is the bottom line. You went boom, boom, It could have been a WXY correction. And then it went into a 5-wave Elliott wave. Maybe that makes more sense. You know, I never looked at it that way, to be honest with you. What if we looked at it like that? What if we went through a 5-wave like this? 1, 2, 3, 4th corrective, 5th up. Right? And then we had the first breakout here, wave 1, 2, big wave 3, 4, and failed on wave 5 and went into a WXY corrective phase. And then that allowed us, or an ABC, whatever you want to call it, but either way. And then you go into a 5-wave right now where we don't know when the 5th wave is going to be. I almost like that. It could even be an ABC corrective, though. Like, because we could do the same thing with an ABC, so don't let it fool you. We can absolutely do the same thing with an ABC corrective. So, because you could go from here, A to B, out to a C, but then it's going to try to play the D line, but I don't want the D, but that's why I said W. So, no, I believe we are in an impulse. We could be. That's the speculation. And if we are, that's not going to be, I mean, we should be fine. I'm hoping that this is the bottom for the 4th. Because if that's the 4th wave bottom, then we're cooking. We're going to start to cook here. Like in the short term, we should start cooking. And it would make sense why wave 4 came into this box. Because we haven't done this yet. Yeah, absolutely. That's why, John, I think we're going to correct again a little bit farther. That's why wave 4, I think, if we're being honest with ourselves, the wave 4 should line up with the FEG down there somewhere. So I think something like that would be more appropriate. But with the way it lined up, it does feel like we should have another corrective wave before we break out. But at any point when we get into wave 5, we're going to cook. Wave 1 was huge. Wave 3 wasn't that big. So not greater than wave 1, or greater than wave 1, but, I got so much information flowing through my head right now. Let this settle. I want to know what everybody thinks, and I want you to hear, if you live in the United States, what Trump said. I saved the exact part I want you to hear. This is at... How far are we into this?
Ever approved in the history of our country, and in addition, well, with the Republican Congress, we have the Senate at the beginning of.
So just listen to this. If you live in the USA, listen to the tax rate hike. If this doesn't get passed, this bill, just listen.
Our last term, we had the most successful 4 years that any president has ever had. The stock market.
Shane, I'm being honest with you. I watch the same thing. I don't see it as bullish as I'm hearing. When they talk about the potential tax, how is this? I know some people are saying it's bullish. I've seen it everywhere. I just want to know, like, this part in particular, maybe the rest of it when they fudded it up, but this part in particular made me feel like, oh my God. Like, this is the part where I took some real stock in, like, they got some shit going on behind the scenes where they really want to raise the taxes on. Like, listen to this.
It was up 88%. The other markets were up almost 100%.
Oh, well, then, Shane, we're on the same page. Because long term, I agree with you. The markets are going to fucking explode. Short term, I see a lot of pain at the pump. But, Shane, I agree with you. We're on the same page. Long term, I absolutely agree. We're going to start cooking.
And that's despite COVID and all the crazy things happening. But we had we had a tremendous 4 years. We've given credit for that, actually. But our big, beautiful bill, as I call it, our big, beautiful bill.
Listen to this.
We may name it that, actually. Will include.
So this is the bill they got to pass. And I won't say anything else. Just listen to this at the end. There's speculation. There's been some that say June, some say no, October, some say December. So I'm just saying end of the year now until, but I'll read the actual official document.
100% expensing retroactive to January 20th. So that's all the way back to just about the beginning of the year. So expensing 1 year, you take a deduction 1 year so you can build your factories right now, essentially almost tax-free if you think about it. Nobody's ever been given that. And we're going to make that expensing for a 4-year period at a full 100%. So last time we made it 1 year and you had the deductions, you do from 100% to 80 to 60 to 40 to 20 to Zippo. And now what we're going to do is we're going to keep it at that level and we're going to have it for 4 years. So I believe that was one of the reasons that we had such unbelievable growth. Also, we allowed you to bring money back from outside of the country. It was impossible. You had to have 15 different law firms representing you. It was so complicated. And worse was that the tax rate was 65%. I lowered the rate substantially, but still a lot. You know, we shouldn't take your money just to hold you hostage, right?
Just out of, you're telling me Forbes can't spell America, right? America. Like, what the?
So we lowered it to a reasonable amount, and we took in trillions of dollars, came back. Apple brought in a tremendous amount of money. A lot of the companies here brought in a lot of money, and the businesses represented today clearly understand that if you build your factory in the United States, your tariff rate is 0, and you have other advantages too. And not the least of which is what I just said having to do with the bill. Now, we have to get that bill approved, so call your local representative, please, and make sure that we get it approved, because I don't want to talk too early, but we're doing well with the Republican Congress. We have the Senate is doing great, and the House is doing great. John Thune has been spectacular. Mike Johnson has been, Speaker, has been spectacular. Marcia, you're in there working very hard and doing well. What do you think? Are we going to get it passed? We have to. Marcia, we don't get it passed, I'm blaming you. We have to. We have to get it passed. We will. I think we will. But I don't think we'll have any Democrat votes. If we don't get it passed, what would happen is your taxes go up 68%. Think of that.
Did you hear that? If they don't get it passed, taxes go up 68%. They snuck it in there. Listen to this again.
And we took in trillions of dollars, came back. Apple brought in a tremendous amount of money. A lot of the companies here brought in a lot of money, and the businesses represented today clearly understand that, and make sure that we get it approved, because I don't want to talk too early, but we're doing well with the Republican Congress. We have the Senate is doing great, and the House is doing great. John Thune has been spectacular. Mike Johnson has been, Speaker, has been spectacular. Marcia, you're in there working very hard and doing well. What do you think? Are we going to get it passed? We have to. Marcia, we don't get it passed, I'm blaming you. We have to. We have to get it passed. We will. I think we will. But I don't think we'll have any Democrat votes. If we don't get it passed, what would happen is your taxes go up 68%. Think of that. And we may not.
Again, guys and gals, please don't. Can you afford a 60?
Took in trillions of dollars, came back. Apple brought in a tremendous amount of money. A lot of the companies here brought in a lot of money, and the businesses represented today clearly understand that if you build your factory in the United States, your tariff rate is 0. And you have.
Why does it keep going back that far? That's clearly not where I'm stopping at.
So we lowered it to a reasonable amount, and we took in trillions of dollars, came back. Apple brought in a tremendous amount of money. A lot of the companies here brought in a lot of money, and the businesses represented today clearly understand that if you build your factory in the United States, your tariff rate is 0, and you have other advantages too, and not the least of which is what I just said having to do with the bill. Now, we have to get that bill approved, so call your local representative, please, and make sure that we get it approved, because I don't want to talk too early, but we're doing well with the Republican Congress. We have the Senate is doing great, and the House is doing great. John Thune has been spectacular. Mike Johnson Speaker has been spectacular. Marcia, you're in there working very hard and doing well. What do you think? Are we going to get it passed? We have to. Marcia, we don't get it passed, I'm blaming you. We have to. We have to get it passed. We will. I think we will. But I don't think we'll have any Democrat votes. If we don't get it passed, what would happen?
Listen, guys, and I'm going to let it play now. A 68% increase.
But as your taxes go up 68%, think of that. And we may not get one vote because they just vote against. It's Trump derangement syndrome, or maybe it's just they hate Republicans, or they hate what we're doing because they've lost their confidence. They've totally lost their confidence. They don't know what the hell is going on. And we are going to get it done. It's probably going to be fully Republican. Fortunately, we have the House, we have the Senate. And we may or may not have a couple of grandstanders, I don't know. But if we do, it would be good if you could work on anybody. I mean, if I were a Democrat, I'd be voting for it 100%. Because I think it's very dangerous politically not to vote for it. Think of it, your taxes go up almost 68%. So, but it looks like we're in good shape, I think. And hopefully we'll get it approved. It'll be the biggest bill ever approved in the history of our country. And it'll be the biggest tax cut ever approved in the history of our country. And in addition to that, regulations, which I'm doing in and outside of the bill, will be as big or bigger than we did last time. We have the record for regulation cuts in the 4 years. We cut 4 times higher than any other president.
They don't have a real name for the bill yet. Some are calling it Build Back Better again, but I don't know. I can't get a straight answer out of them. That's what I mean. So gold and silver, especially silver, guys. I might just do something with the audience and just toss 15 grand into silver, into the iSilver Trust, so I can keep at least the cash equivalent in case I need to take it out or spend it for an emergency. But I'll store it in silver as it's under $33 an ounce. And we can do this. Oh, yeah, the big, beautiful bill. Yep. So we will, because I really feel like something big is coming down the pipeline, like big. In
a 4-year period. And we're talking about 8 years and 2-term presidents. We're 4 times higher than any other president in terms of regulation cuts. And I went to a friend of mine who happens to be in the room, one of the biggest business leaders. I won't mention him.
Okay. So obviously that's some news. That's some news. But did you guys get a chance to think about this? Does that make sense to you if we look at this in this aspect? So we went wait here. I think it does make sense because I was wondering how we had such a long-term correction after that failed attempt up, but it makes sense because we had to create the W, the middle of the W. So wave 1, down to 2, up to 3, cracks down to 4, shoots up to 5. We came up here, somewhere in there, right? So then we just say 1 starts here. Like, hey, we went and boom. We'll start our fresh first wave, down to 2nd, big up to 3. Nice corrective to 4. Failed 5th wave. Failed 5th wave told us we had to go into a corrective wave. And I feel like we went into, you could, I don't know, ABC, WXY, however the fuck you want it. It's a 3-wave correction. And after that, we went into a fresh 5 waves. So then we ended up wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4th wave corrective. Now, did we come down far enough here? And is this where we stop? Do we come down farther and tap that FEG? Do we stay on top of here and then start pushing back into the next zone? Like, these are all things we're waiting to see what happens here and play out. So I think at least that gives us a fresh take, because if this played out properly, you'd be talking about a wave, and it's not anything crazy, but I think a fresh 5 wave should get you up to somewhere in this range. Even if it wasn't like a huge, crazy one, because wave 5, in theory, I would like to see after all that time do something like that. But I don't know if we're going to get that big of an impulse or that big of a explosion. I could see it play out to something like this. Maybe start a fresh corrective wave and then back test in an ABC fashion. WXY, I don't care how you call it. XYZ. But it comes back down and then it would back test this area that's always been resistance. You know, maybe as a support. So then maybe we would end up coming back. Maybe we would come back. Shit, there's so much writing. We could like maybe go... maybe something like boom. Then you could do like maybe a small push up and then maybe a bam and then out for a fresh wave. I could see something like that happen. I really could. Whoops. I like that though. I could see that would be probably my favorite way to look at that if it had to play out something like that. I do. Because I think it is a... Bam. Bam. And then maybe it dropped down to like... somewhere maybe in here before the fresh breakout. Because you got to test the top of it. So we're looking for that corrective. And then we could go... The beauty of this is if that panned out, we could take a fresh and just take off from there. We need quantitative easing, though. Exactly. That's why I feel like in this kind of environment, I keep using the word, this is not good for risk assets. It's just the timing right now. The timing's not right, but, you know, we have a chance here to break out of that not so right timing and do this bullish, right? Because we have the 4-hour golden cross. We have things that are lining up, and oftentimes the 4-hour golden cross just ends up being a rejection at the 200-day within the daily sense, or a rejection in that pattern, and then you just start coming down after. Like it's one last gasp effort, and then if you can't push past that resistance after multiple times, well, it usually doesn't end well. And right now, I'm not trying to say anything, but in the yearly, we very well could be pulling on this last candle into a reversal down. Like, could get dangerous and spicy here shortly. Just saying. Because if that plays out like a bear flag, we're coming down to that $1.50 range, whether we want to fucking do it or not. You know, we don't have much of a choice if that happens. That's XLM. Oh, shit, if XLM does it, that would be cut in half. If XRP did it, it might be a little bit worse because it tried to come up, and that would be like the... To me, that's like the fake J-hook. And everybody's always like, Tom, what the hell is the fake J-hook? So... Think of a golf club turned inside out, and then it coming all the way back up to about 80% is where it can maximize. Sometimes it comes up to like 85, but it basically hits the old resistance from the bottom. And in this case, it would be up at the double support structure at about $2.20 before it came through on the big bearish candle. Look how it's stacking back through. That whole candle is basically putting crumbs back up. It's taken so long. So many weeks to try to climb back up. Generally, when you're very bullish, you're breaking through here pretty quickly. Like a quick V shape. This does not look like a typical V shape. So that's why I keep saying we need some volume, and we need it now. Like in the worst possible way. We got the 1 billion tokens released from escrow tonight. In about 5 hours and 10 minutes it can start. We don't know what time they'll do it. So I expect to see a little bit of depreciation when that happens. You know, so... I mean, honestly, guys, I know it's been a long time, but has it? Like some of us, has it been a long time? In November, we were at... just before November, we were at 38 cents. We're 6 months later. We're at $2.19. Are we never going anywhere? Are we unrealistic with our expectations because of all the people that you watch on social media? Because I'm very fucking happy right now. Excuse my French. Where XRP's sitting. I couldn't be happier. $3,800 6 months ago is now worth $22,000. Let that sink in. But it never moves. We're getting sick of waiting. We've got to be patient. Patience is a virtue. That's why it's more about timing. Is it about timing or time and market? I dare say it's more about timing than time and market. And that was timing, James, and I agree. But you can't hold that on XRP's price. See, that's a dangerous game to play and a precedent to set. That's where you have to acknowledge a mistake and say, you know, and it might not be a mistake, but you have to acknowledge the fact that you bought it after 4 waves or after the third big wave. Now you have to sit through that big corrective wave. And wave 4 took years last time to break out of. Years. Years. I drew it in the beginning. Years, James. Years. We didn't have to live through it to see it, right? You didn't have to be here to see it. We can bring you the future or the past. I mean, it took a long time. Look at, if you want to talk about the top of wave 3 in December, on my birthday seems to be death for these targets, honestly. Anyhow, but that's 2017, a little bit after my birthday. We'll put it in the 25th. So wave 3 all the way to wave 4, before we had that last minuscule break back up, that took 3 years, 2.5 years for that entire corrective wave to finish. Now, if it let me pull it down here so I could show you how it should be, you know, but it won't let me do it because we extend out. But I think you understand what I'm saying. Like, this took this entire time to finish the corrective. Then we ended up bouncing up, but we fucked it up because we didn't come back up, and then we had to go through a nice 3-wave correction. And now we're trying it again. And we're rather successful, folks. I don't know how else to put it. So successful. So successful. Exactly, Papa Wheelie. And that's why following me, folks, I'm not like everybody else. I'm going to tell you the truth, whether or not it bites me in the ass. I really don't care because I have nothing to feel bad about if I'm telling you what you need to know. Like, I've been telling you what you need to know from a different perspective. How many of you have seen me do it from this perspective ever? So I'm trying to evolve a way to make this knowledge sink into how different this is this time. This is so different. It's just, I feel like we could still have to come down a little bit, but it doesn't change the fact. This is so different. It's so different. My God, it's so different. It's so... I wish some of you could see it through my eyes right now and feel what I feel, like why it's different. Like the significance of what's going on here. And that's why I pulled wave 4 down here, because I believe we could come back to retest this top portion. And I think it would be right and just, and that's $1.36. I mean, that is so freaking right and just. I'm going to put this there. I want this at 136. That's good. That's fine. Right there. That is so... I can't explain how this... Oh, man. In the world, folks, something big is happening drastically when it comes to... And the dollar's not going to go away, but how they measure the dollar is going to change. And if you guys were in here, we did something yesterday that was pretty interesting. We took a little down, you know, down the wormhole. And I know most of you probably weren't in here that are here today because it always changes. Less than half of you have hit the like button. Less than half of you hit the like button, so most of you probably wouldn't even be pushed back around. You got to hit the like button to see my content next time. That's the truth. If you don't hit the algorithm's not going to hit you, and that's the point. I don't know if I'll be able to do it like that. We'll probably have to look at it a different way, but anyhow. So basically, the Commodities Futures Trading Commission is overseen by a group. The chairman of that group who puts in the rules and regulations for the CFTC, that chairman is on Trump's staff. The chairman of the group that oversees the CFTC. Now, Trump has talked about a lot of things with gold and blah, blah, blah. I showed it yesterday. You have to go back to the video in the back end of an hour and 40-minute video. But we have the Gold Act of 1934, I believe it is, where the sitting president of the United States can revalue the price of gold at whatever he sees fit to fix our national debt. And that's put in as a safety valve. Now, that doesn't mean the dollar goes away. It just means the way it's valued is back on a gold standard value. So I think it would, I think it's interesting what's going on here. So, oh, thank you, McMichael. I really appreciate that. I really do. The bid was rejected. Wow, I didn't hear that yet. Thank you for sharing that information. I had not heard that. I really did not hear that. Wow. Let's take a look. No, it hasn't been done in a long time. That's why I think it's got more validity now than ever before. And why would we It's crazy, though, when you start to actually pay attention to some of the key words. There's just so much stuff. The Commodities Exchange Act regulates the trading of commodity futures in the United States, passed in 1936. Anyhow, I'm not going to keep talking about commodities because it'll bore some of you. So we'll get into the stuff everybody wants to talk about. I must digress sometimes, that I wish some of my audience was more appreciative of some of the other knowledge I have. But I understand that we're crypto and we're XRP. But some of this other shit would literally blow your dick off. You'd be holding it in your hand and you wouldn't even know how. You wouldn't even know how your dick got in your hands, if you want me to put it in perspective. And I know that's being blunt, but that's the truth. It'd knock your dick off. Ripple bid for Circle rejected. Rejected. So Ripple bid up to $5 billion to acquire Circle, but offer was turned down. Ripple Labs made an unsuccessful... I'm sorry, but 2 ads before I could even read the first sentence. You are out. Like, God forbid I tried to read your shit. So Ripple, $4 to $5 billion bid to purchase Circle, rejected report. Blockchain firm Ripple made a multi-billion-dollar bid to acquire USDC issuer, but the offer was rejected, according to Bloomberg. Blockchain payments firm Ripple has reportedly bid up to $5 billion in an effort to acquire stablecoin issuer Circle, but the offer was rejected. According to an April 30th Bloomberg report, Ripple put in a bid of $4 to $5 billion as part of an attempted takeover of Circle, which was rejected as being too low. Ripple hasn't considered whether to make another bid to purchase the stablecoin issuer. The reported acquisition attempt came less than 30 days after Circle applied for an initial public offering, and the U.S. Cointelegraph reached out for time. Okay, here we go. Ripple reportedly had an $11 billion valuation in 2024, an estimate CEO Brad Garlinghouse called outdated as of January. The blockchain company purchased prime broker Hidden Road for roughly $1.2 billion in April, claiming the move would help scale activity for XRP and the XRP ledger. It's unclear whether Ripple intends to pursue the Circle acquisition as the firm begins to clear some of its legal entanglements with U.S. regulators. In August 2024, a court found, well, we already know. Well, I guess I should read this in case somebody doesn't. A court found Ripple liable for $125 million in a case with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, first filed in 2020. However, Garlinghouse announced in March that the SEC planned to drop its appeal against the firm over the ruling, with Ripple later stating it would pay a net $50 million for the lower court judgment, Both announcements followed meetings between Garlinghouse and Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderodi, and U.S. President Donald Trump. The blockchain firm contributed $5 million to Trump's inauguration fund after his election victory, and both executives attended events as official guests on January 20th. The circle jerk continues. So let's see the crypto fear and greed index, as somebody said in the audience. I didn't say that. Somebody said that in the audience. I'm just repeating what they said in a different timing. But I'm not a financial advisor, so what I say, I don't think any of you should be basing your decisions on. But if it helps you come to a more rational decision, well, make that part of your stock, but don't make it all your stock. Never put all your eggs in one basket, not even mine. So, market sentiment right now is 52 greed. How are we at greed? Are we really at greed right now? That doesn't even seem right. What the hell do I know? 56? Jesus Christ. What do I think will happen if Ripple buys Circle? Probably nothing, only for the fact that some staggering amount of Circle's daily use was already from Ripple until Ripple created the RLUS stablecoin. It would just make them the biggest holder in the US as far as for stablecoin. If they buy Circle, there's no other game in town. And then they can basically disperse of USDT, which could actually, in effect, if they do take over Circle, could actually cause a whole market collapse as USDT. They would probably ship the bricks, and they would probably be going down the shitter as well. It almost looks like Ripple is trying to take over by enforcement here. And what I mean by that is we know the World Economic Forum and the International Monetary Fund runs Ripple and the U.S. government. It almost looks like they're looking to take over the stablecoin market one piece at a time so that they have another avenue. It would be interesting. We could find ourselves in a short-term collapse if that happens out of fear. And then long-term, XRP, like I said, there could be a circumstance where XRP goes into a super cycle and is in the midst of it, and everything else is just trying to get out of bear market. But I've said this long ago. There's a reason why I hold XRP and I'm not looking to rid of my minimum 10,000 tokens under any circumstance. I don't really care what happens going forward. I'll buy and sell others and overages if I have to, but there's a reason why I'm keeping on a certain amount, no matter what. Even if I got to ride it back to the shit house. What was I trying to find? Oh, there was a couple donations, and I want to make sure I get to those. I apologize. Let me get to the live, because, you know, YouTube likes to kind of make it weird. You know. So let's see who the donations were. Who sent the first donation? Somebody sent a donation earlier. It's not popping up on here. I apologize. I feel like quite a douche. CJ2 Pilot, thanks for the $4.99 donation. And also being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Josie Wales, and I think it was a $5 donation. Thank you so much, Josie Wales, for the $5 donation. If in fact that was you. And Frankie Fresh, thank you for that information. And also being part of Tom's Army for 3+ months. I know I haven't got to everybody today. We went through a lot of stuff here. And if you're just tuning in, I mean, I would definitely go back to the beginning, because I know we're getting short on time here now. But we did try to go through the Elliot wave. And then we tried to go through the correction areas. And I guess I can show you one more time here as we go, just so you can be on the same page if you just tuned in before I leave. So we went, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Wave 1 up, 2 down. I'll just use the arrow so it's easier. So look, wave 1, 2 corrective, 3 up, 4 was corrective. And look how wide this corrective happened. So in this first attempt to break out, we went from December of 13 all the way until the bottom, somewhere around 2 years later. And then we came up, and this was actually way up here, was the 5th. What is this? Why is it a 0? Whatever. It kind of caught the 0 to the first there, but the 5th wave ended. Then you had 1, 2, and you can pull this out because obviously it didn't break out until over here. So 2, 3. Look how long that corrective wave goes. Again, just like the initial breakout of the 5 wave. This is December of 17. Takes all the way until we get to about the floor somewhere around April of 2020. And we had a failed 5th wave, in my opinion. So that failed 5th wave led us into a WXY correction. You can call it an ABC 1, 2, 3 ZWX. I don't give a fuck what you call it. It was a 3-wave corrective wave. And I do care what you call it. Just make sure you know it was a 3-wave corrective. So in this case, we'll just say WXY. How about that? WXY. And then we went into a fresh 5-wave Elliot wave. So up to 1, down to 2nd corrective, up to 3rd wave. And now we're down to the 4th corrective wave. Now, the question is this come down far enough right here? Or does this need to come down into this box somewhere over here and then bounce out? That's my question. Like maybe and it doesn't have to come to the bottom, but it does seem like if you look at the past wave 4 correctives, that's too short. Like just going back at its history, doesn't that seem too short right now? 2 years, almost 3 years for the 1. And it just seems too short right now. Sorry, Tom, it was King Rebel that sent you that super chat. Oh, King Rebel, I apologize. Thank you so much for that donation. Seriously. And Frankie, thanks for correcting me. I appreciate that. Cannabis Podcast, thank you so much. And thanks for being in Tom's Arm for over 3 months with the XP Meter. And make sure you watch his podcast. A lot of stuff on cannabis, not just smoking it, but the medicinal value and a lot of cool facts as well. Go back in the history and watch. But I think it makes more... am I wrong? I feel like it needs to extend out, but I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. Clutch Racing, thank you so much for joining Tom's Army. I know it's your first month because that's the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. I cannot remember the last time somebody joined Tom's Army on a live. Today's been a weird day. I also couldn't remember the last time somebody sent a YouTube super chat on one of my video updates. And somebody sent one on the morning update and somebody sent a smaller one during the shorts today. I don't know what the hell is going on today. I appreciate the support, everybody. I really do. Clutch says he loves it when I curse. Oh, I love it. I love it. Happy to be here. Been watching you for... Oh, I appreciate that. A half a year. So you've gotten to see it when we've been more in the corrective phase. But now, just from some of you, could you see a corrective wave taking a little bit longer? Now, we'll know, and the way I did it was a little strategic, because if it gets over this, then we'll say resistance. It's good news. So we could at any point, and then, I mean, you could look at it more like this, you know, how it was, and we could be slingshotting, but just look for it to break over that. And then we'll be fresh. You know, so technically until it breaks down, we could say like this, right? Like, oh, we're doing something. We're doing it, right? We're doing it. But we got to see. It just feels like it's too short right now. For the size of the move it wants to make, we kind of need to create a little bit bigger base here, it almost feels like. I don't know, I guess we'll see. Guess we'll see. I mean, I won't be mad either way. If it surges the hell out of here, I'll be very happy. And if it breaks the hell, I'll be happy either way. Because I know it's coming. But at some point here, it's coming. And XRP's proving that it's in a super cycle versus most crypto. Outside of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's also proving a super cycle effect. So... And like I said, I don't care if it breaks, if it goes all the way back down. I'm not selling this part of XRP. I don't know how much clearer I can be to everybody. So there are no nerves attached to this. I'm XRP future millionaire, damn it. You can't become the millionaire without holding any of it. Mind you, I've already made a lot of money on XRP, just not millionaire status. XRP hasn't even made me six-figure status, but everything else has. Well, maybe not anymore after working on the house, but it was nice when it lasted. But as they say, easy come, easy go. Just make sure you spend it wisely or invest it the right way or hold on to it for safekeeping. Let's see. So, but anyhow, I think we'll leave it there because I want to go help Julie with my son. Had a long day. And I just want to make sure now that they're getting done with this feed that I can go do what I got to do before he goes to bed. He's got a long day tomorrow, school and therapy, so I got to go get things right. I appreciate everybody who tuned in today. Seriously, it's meant the world to me. I'm glad you listened to me babble for so long and just talk about different potentials. If you're looking for some of the information about what I do, you can join BITUNIX. That's my most favorite exchange because of the fees. LBank is something I think everybody should take consideration, and there's a link right there. Make sure before you click on the link, you go to your app store, you go to the Google Play Store or the App Store if you live in the USA and download that before you try to go to the web page, because it'll say it's restricted in the USA when it's not. I'm in the USA, and they have Algo, IOTA, XDC, XRP, XLM. They also have, and this is the crazy part, XRP Healthcare. They've got all these different things, HBAR, all of them, DGB. For fuck's sake, LBank even has DGB, a cheaper alternative. So make sure you download the app first before you click on the link. If you don't want to be attached to me, that's fine. Then you can just do it on your own. But if you want to attach it to mine, well, then you're going to have to download it and then click on that link for it to work. How it might, I don't know. FIFA dropping algo. I did not. I don't honestly, I don't think that plays a big role in what algo's doing, but it can play to maybe a drop coming. You know, a further drop, that's for sure. Something, as much as I want it to go up, it just something don't feel right, man. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we're just going to go to this. I'm telling you, though, this fifth wave is going to be spectacular when it happens. The weekly doesn't look all that bad, though. It's just, we're getting squeezed a little bit. It doesn't look all that bad, though. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. Thank you all so much. Have a blessed evening. I appreciate the over 35,000 subscribers now, which is a blessing you will never know. Make sure to share this. Like this live if you're watching it after, right now. Share this and turn the bell notification on and give it a chance. Give it a chance for YouTube, even though they do a piss poor job. You know, at least give them a reason to share it with you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know what time it is. Some of you are watching right now and say, what the hell is going on? Ladies and gentlemen, the sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see a motherfucking thing. Happy days. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's just not get caught in the FUD. Oh, we're gonna crash and we did and we will and we may and we won't and we did and we will and they say we will and they don't know but they say we do and we won't and we will and we can and we won't and we will and we do and we will and we won't and they don't know but we will and we won't, we will and we won't. Stay true, stay blessed. Because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and we don't know, and we did, and we didn't, and we do, and we don't, and we did, and we don't, and we do, and we didn't, and then we didn't, and we know, and we didn't, we will, and we know, and we do, and we do, but we will, and we won't, we will, and we won't, and that's why you should subscribe. Thank you. If I say any more, I might fucking pass out because I forgot to breathe. But yeah, that's the way it goes. And thank you all for tuning in. The sun seems rather interesting. Left to the right, to the up, to the down, to the left, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the side, to the right, to the up, to the down, to the right. Yeah, I love it. We don't know if we're crashing or breaking or rising or 4 or 1 or X or Z or Y. So what we know is we'll leave with a smile, like the Cannabis Podcast says. Positivity over negativity. I may look like an idiot right now, or I might look like a hero right now, but at the very end of the day, I can guarantee one thing. I either left you smiling or saying, man, this guy is one crazy son of